Welcome, everyone. Joe with Range Me here, and with me today is Chris Stewart, who is the Vice President of Merchandising for Casey's, which has 2,900 convenience stores across 17 states and is very well known for its handmade pizza. And not only is it the third largest convenience store retail in the country, it's the fifth largest pizza chain. And now with their new made-to-order wings, I'm sure the wing business is going to go booming. So today we're going to talk about the Casey's Innovation Summit, which in which they teamed up with RangeMe to help find new and interesting brands. So thanks for joining us, Chris. And to start off, can you give us an overview of Casey's and the typical Casey's customer, who they are, how they shop, what kind of products they buy?
Sure thing. Thanks, Joe. Looking forward to spending some time with you today. Casey's, although you said 2,900 stores, we're primarily focused in the Midwest. We operate across 19 states. I would say, compared to a traditional convenience store, we're very fortunate that we have what we call our crown jewel, our pizza platform. So when you think about Casey's, as you said, third largest convenience store chain in the US, fifth largest pizza chain. And I would say that's really our point of differentiation in the marketplace. So, when you think about maybe traditional convenience stores, very busy in the morning day part, but maybe, traffic falls off later into the afternoon and evening. For us, we're very fortunate that with our whole pizza business, we have a really strong late afternoon, evening day part, and weekend business with people coming into our stores. I've been with Casey's for about 5 years, nearly 5 years, and it's been a fantastic journey. I'm very fortunate to be here and work with such a great team.
Excellent. I like the fact that you do thin crust pizza too, because I'm a New Yorker, so that's important for me. I tried like the Chicago style pizza, and I don't even consider that pizza. It's like lasagna.
Yeah.
So awesome. So tell us a little bit about the importance of emerging brands and product innovation for Casey's in their ability to deliver unique offerings to your customers, especially since you have them coming throughout the day.
Sure thing. So, listen, at the end of the day, our job as a merchandising team is to have the products that our guests are looking for. And I think for us, as we think about the future and the younger consumer, it's making sure that the products that we're selling in our stores are relevant and resonating with our existing core customer base, but then also the younger generation, new and emerging brands. So for us, it's trying to for the guests to think Casey's top of mind is a place they can go to find, that new product they saw on, Instagram or, other social platforms. So we really want to be top of mind as a destination for all things that the guest is looking for.
So it's interesting. So it's a destination. I'm sure there's a lot of impulse purchases going on, but they're actually looking for specific products when they go to you too.
Correct.
Great, great. So in August, you launched the first Casey's Innovation Summit, and we're thankful that you teamed up with us to help you with that. So what drove this decision? What were your goals for the summit?
Yeah, I think it comes back to the point that I just made is I think when we've done a little bit of self-reflection, dug into, our customer base and, I'd say overall Casey's guest base is aging. So we needed to do a better job of attracting, the younger consumer to our stores. And we saw this as a mechanism to be able to do that. As I mentioned, we've definitely been resonating with our core customer, with our assortment, and the decisions and brands that we're bringing into our store. But we saw this as a real opportunity to attract differentiated guest base into our stores.
Gotcha. Can you give us some details on how the process works for the summit? Like the selection criteria to make it to the actual meetings with your team, and the ones that got them into the final cut once you had the meetings with them.
Sure thing. So I put a caveat. So we talked a little bit up front around our pizza business and our food business. We did tailor the program just to our traditional CPG category. So the food business wasn't part of this. Now, hopefully, as we go forward, we'll bring our food and dispense beverage team into this process as well. But it really is kind of opened up to all of the traditional categories that we sell inside of our stores. I think we had about 600 applicants that made it through to the first wave. At that point, category managers went in and reviewed the applications, kind of highlighted or went through a first round where we eliminated some folks back in the process based off certain criteria. And from there, we moved into, I think it was over 100 brands where we had initial one-on-one meetings between the category manager and the potential supplier. And then from there, phase three was an actual in-person meeting here in headquarters in Ankeny, Iowa, where we had, I think, 40 or 50 brands come in and present to our team. Learn a little bit more about Casey's. We also took them on a tour of our distribution center. That is a unique thing about Casey's is we self-distribute. We took them through our culinary innovation center. We have a lab store here as well in our headquarters, and kind of an education around and Casey's, because some of the brands maybe weren't as familiar with us as other national convenience retailers.
That's awesome. And that actually kind of helps prep them a little bit for the ones who actually did make it, helps prep them to actually do business with you.
Exactly. That was the intent.
Yep. So how many made the cut, and what kind of brands were they? And
Yeah,
what
so
drove those final decisions too?
yeah, sure thing. So we have 19 brands that are actually going to land in our stores here in calendar 2025. A couple of brands that may be worth highlighting. So First Form, a new energy drink. So we've seen great success in the performance energy category. So this is a brand that's based in St. Louis. So in our geography, and in fact, I think just late last week they announced a partnership with Anheuser-Busch. So definitely a brand that we identified through this process as one that is going to resonate inside of our stores, and one that we're excited to bring to life across our footprint this year.
Gotcha. Now you mentioned you're going after. I'm interested to find out about that Anheuser-Busch partnership too. But you mentioned you're going after that younger crowd. Um, was social media a part of the criteria? Like, do they have to have a good social media following?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, as you kind of evaluate a potential supplier, everything's taken into consideration in the decision. The great thing about Casey's is, we have a really robust loyalty platform. We have over 8.5 million members to our Casey's Rewards platform. So through those avenues, we're able to communicate directly to those folks. So yes, it's great if a potential supplier brings forward a social media platform where they have access to hundreds of thousands or millions of followers.
Mhm.
But at the same time, we're able to communicate directly to folks that are coming into our stores, every day or multiple times a week, and tell them about, the potential new brands that we have inside of our stores.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, based on your initial experience, right, being the first time that you did one of these, what recommendations would you have for brands that are submitting products for future summits? So both, one, the arrange me profiles, right? That's the initial thing that your team sees. So, what do you recommend in terms of that? And then for those that do make the cut, what do you recommend in terms of how do they present during those meetings, the one-on-one meetings?
Yeah, I think the key point here is just around differentiation. So we're really looking for products that are differentiated than existing, products or brands inside of our portfolio today. So it is bringing in incremental new traffic, new guests inside of our stores. So to me, really emphasizing why the brand's different, why the proposition is different, and how, for Casey's, it can swing the doors and bring new or more guests inside of our stores. Because for us, the lifeblood for us is store swings. So we want
Hmm.
to make sure that we're continuing to grow our guest count, on a daily, weekly basis, because that really shows that we're relevant to the consumer.
Great, great. So, what kind of campaigns will Casey's look to do in the future? Will you go category specific, maybe food service?
Yeah, I think definitely the food service. I can't speak for that as kind of the grocery and general merchandise team. But definitely, we had a lot of success with the program. It was our first foray into this space. I think one that we'll definitely look at closely as we move into 2025 is private label.
Mhm.
So today, Casey's has over 300 private label products in the portfolio, and we continue to grow that offering. So that's one that we'll potentially identify as a dedicated, work stream. And then, it's how do we take the learnings from this go around as we went through the innovation summit? And I think for us, as we think about timing, so this year we did it in October of 2024, just for planning purposes, knowing that a lot of our assortment decisions are made, late summer leading into the spring reset season for convenience retail. We're looking to potentially move that forward to align with that timeline, maybe late summer, so that we have the appropriate amount of time to plan, with the new partners to get them into our stores in the spring.
Great. Excellent. Well, listen, thank you so much for doing this with us. We're glad to team up with you on making this happen, and I'm glad it was a success. We look forward to working with you on the next one.
Great. Thanks so much, Joe.